going on?
What's up?
What's love got to do? Got to do with it?
We're not late. You guys are early. I even put when I shared the thing today, I was like 3:30 or
you know how it is.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
You know how it is. And it was, as it always is, where we're rushing to get everything together in time so that we can go live. But we do it for you.
I do everything for you.
I would do anything for you except go live on time. That's the one thing I won't do.
But yeah, it's been a minute, or has it? Or I feel like we're
back on schedule.
Yeah, we're back on schedule from last Facebook Live edition was us getting into it. Welcome, Andrew. How are you? But yeah, let's talk about the goings on. Are you guys sick of hearing me before every episode now? I am. But no, yeah, just to tackle some of those, Mike and I were just talking about, well, we just hit 100 subscribers.
100 subscribers on YouTube. Pretty cool. We've been trying to do that for a long time. I remember back when we thought that 100 subscribers would allow us to get like a channel name, and then I realized either they changed it or I just got it wrong when we were talking about it at first. But now it's 400, I think.
Oh, yeah.
400 subscribers maybe. And it might even be further now because they keep like moving. Like we kept like reaching these milestones and then they would move the finish line further on down the road. So, but we still reached 100 subscribers. That's pretty cool on YouTube. We'll probably never be monetized again on YouTube.
No, definitely not. I mean, again, it's a podcast. I mean, we've got like 3,000 followers on SoundCloud, so it's not my main priority, even though, I mean, we have had spikes in YouTube performance kind of lately.
We have to apologize because we're eating as well, because in our rush to get everything ready today, neither of us have had lunch, and it's 4 o'clock now, and we're going to be drinking a lot of beer, recording 3 episodes, so safety first.
Mike even
fill your tummy before you...
Mike even got here pretty early. Like, I think our first guest gets here at 5, and we still managed to, like, run. But we're just having some Jules pizza.
Shout out to Jules. Sponsor us.
That would be really great.
If they just delivered pizza before every time we record, or record a live episode at Jules.
Oh, yeah. Or if they were like, listen, we don't make beer, but can you eat this pizza during your episode? I'd be like, okay. Are we a food review podcast now? Because I can get behind it.
Minus the amount of weight we would gain, I could get behind that as well.
But yeah, I'm trying to think of movie news or movies that I've seen lately.
Well, I mean, we do have the...
What is the format of this show?
Whatever we want to talk about. I mean, I do want to put the question forth of those of you who have been listening the past couple of weeks with our new intro system. Do you like it? Do you feel it benefits the podcast to not have us do that live on air, to have it in a more concise fashion, to just kind of get those links out there and we can focus more on the movie afterwards? Or is it annoying for you guys to have to sort of scroll through that for a couple of minutes before the movie starts? What are you looking for? Your food?
I dropped a tomato. Yeah. I mean, you talk, we'll listen. I mean, really, I feel like we're pretty good at getting back to people.
We had quite a few of you guys join the Facebook group. How many fingers am I holding up the Facebook group? So search that on Facebook. We don't have like a custom URL because I don't know if you can do that for groups or if we just don't have one.
You can. I just haven't figured it out yet. There's a lot of weird things with Facebook groups. I was just telling Mike where, I had this big debacle earlier. I think it was last week or something. I was like, you know what? Everybody who likes, how many fingers am I holding up the like channel page of like the channel page on Facebook where you can like or whatever and see all of our updates and everything. I wanted to invite all those people to the Facebook group, our discussion group, and I was actually just adding like 100 people.
You're in the group. You're in the group.
So I haven't completely figured out how Facebook groups work. I mean, I'd love to, if we're missing something on our discussion group that you'd like to see, by all means, tell us, because this is something new for us. But yeah, everybody who has joined and not been forced into it by myself has been really fantastic in it. There's a lot of like really great discussions going on in there. And we even got into, again, something that I've been kind of going over in my intro is kind of like, it's kind of been like, hey, like, here are the 3 movies that we're about to review, even though, I don't want to make this group like this sort of like, hey, it's, how many fingers am I holding up? Like the podcast? The Facebook group. That's what it's called. But we couldn't think of a better name. And we did want to attach the podcast to it, but I don't want to advertise shit for the podcast. But I started 3 different like discussions, like discussion posts about the 3 different movies that we'll be reviewing today. Ready Player One, Isle of Dogs, and A Quiet Place. And it was cool to get people's opinions on that, because now Mike and I kind of have this place to go and be like, oh, well, so-and-so from the Facebook group thinks this, and that can like launch like this whole other conversation.
Sabri watching from the other room.
Yes.
Hi, Sabri. But thanks to everyone who is posting in the Facebook group. It's cool to see that sort of, we've been talking about doing the group for like the longest time.
Right.
We just didn't really get around to it until now, but it's cool to kind of see that coming to fruition, sort of this dream we've had for a while. I don't want to make it sound too lofty, but we just thought it'd be cool to have this place that we could kind of collect, like Joe was posting like a joke about A Quiet Place the other day, where people can post reviews, or our good friend Matt, started like a sort of a question thread of like, rank the Wes Anderson films, from worst to best. And they're just cool stuff like that. Like
Mike posted about TV, about the next season of True Detective. I want to talk, if you guys want to bring like a music or video game or TV discussion into that, I'm not going to turn it down.
Yeah.
I love multimedia.
Games. What do we have movie news wise? Oh, I guess there's the like upcoming Infinity War. The impending Infinity War.
It's coming.
I wasn't too excited when I saw the first trailer, but I have to say, when I saw Ready Player One this week, review coming out Thursday. I saw it at like because we have a Cinemark by us,
right? And
I haven't done their like premium movie experience yet because I've been using Movie Pass, so I go see like the standard digital every time. But I was like, for Ready Player One, I kind of want to see what their Cinemark XD 3D theater is like. And I was a little underwhelmed for the price.
XD?
Yeah, Cinemark like, XD.
Like the emoji kind of. Like
Cinemark. A little underwhelmed. I probably won't go back to that unless it's like something crazy visual.
There's so many types of
3D.
I can keep up with that.
There's like Real D3D, which this is. I think that's part of the problem. Is I don't like Real D3D. For me, I have the glasses. The glasses are too small, and it doesn't seem as crisp to me. Whereas I really like IMAX 3D. This was supposed to be, which I did notice. Cinemark is supposed to have like the brightest version of 3D,
right?
I guess when they use Real D3D, I don't know what that's all about. Something to do with their projection system. But anyway, long roundabout way of saying that they had the Infinity War trailer, which looked better than all of Ready Player One in 3D. So you could like, I feel like it was a difference between like Steven Spielberg maybe not knowing how to film a movie prepared for like 3D, or maybe not even intending to do that, and they just released it that way. Whereas Infinity War has clearly been filmed like this shit's going to be 3D. We're going to sell a ton of IMAX tickets.
Oh yeah,
and it looks beautiful in the trailer that they showed. And I think they might have showed, I don't know, I can't tell if they showed a longer trailer or if I just hadn't really been paying attention to the first trailer, but I was actually a little hyped seeing it. Like, I feel like they've done such a good job of building this universe that, like, even though I don't really like all the Marvel movies, I know the characters so well from having to see all of them that I'm excited. Like, all they have to do is like have a scene that's
having
like
to see all of them.
Even if it wasn't for the podcast, I feel like just as a culture, you're like, oh, I guess I
Mhm.
have to see the new
Mhm.
Marvel movie to see what
Right.
the fuck that's all about to stay current. But like all they have to do in the trailer is just have like Doctor Strange meets Spider-Man, and we're like, ooh, that's intriguing. Like I
Mhm.
wasn't expecting those characters
It's
to be
very
together.
comic book.
Or Tony Stark meets Star-Lord,
Lord, yeah.
like that. Like
Mhm.
just putting those two characters visually together, you're already like, okay, like this seems pretty interesting.
I do like the idea. I mean, I already talked about this. I think we were literally in the last live episode. I think I saw the most recent trailer because I don't think they've released a more recent trailer in a while. But I was like, this does look good. It kind of looks like people banding together, and they're not afraid to have some sort of gloom and doom in it, where it's kind of like, ah, shit, like people are gonna die, like, and I think that's
I'm
exciting.
putting money on
Mhm.
that. This is not like a hot take at all because I'm pretty sure everyone else has already assumed this.
Right.
Captain America's dying
Mhm.
in this one because his contract's up, and he's already said, "I'm not going to sign on again. I'm not
Mhm.
doing another
Right.
Marvel movie." So, with the amount of like cameos and stuff they do, they would have to kill him off rather than just write out Captain America.
Right. Yeah.
Like, where's he going to go?
They've kind of bled that character dry too.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of like pretty great content to come out of that character in those movies and everything. But yeah, that's a contract that's probably going to end. Again, I mean, I think Robert Downey Jr.
And you would hope they
is
would.
probably gonna.
Yeah, hopefully they'll kill. Although I don't know how much more he's under contract for.
Mm-hmm.
I think the notable one is that Chris Evans' contract ends with this
Mhm.
movie. It'll be fulfilled. But you would kind of hope that they would kill Iron Man too, just because he's had what, 3 movies? Did he have
Mhm.
4 solo movies? I mean,
No,
there's
he
just
hit
3.
3. Yeah.
But he was in a Captain America movie,
Mm-hmm.
and then he's made cameos in a ton.
It'd just be cooler if they killed him before this.
I just want to see them kill a bunch of the old guys,
Mhm.
and then like they've started to get this like new sort of
Mm-hmm.
band of young ones or newer
Right.
ones, like Doctor Strange. A lot of people like that movie and would
Uh-huh.
like to see more from that character and him sort of step maybe into a more senior role.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Hulk will probably stick around.
Yeah.
I can't imagine them killing Thor either, but he would be the sort of the same thing where like he had 3 of his own solo movies. But then Spider-Man obviously,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like there'll be like a Deadpool crossover at some
Mhm.
point. I feel like the X-Men will come into play at some point. They're definitely going to do like younger X-Men now, I feel like, as well.
Oh, definitely.
There's just an opportunity to kind of like push out a lot of this old stuff that's been oversaturating the genre for a while and just bring in some new characters at least and maybe do some new things, Maybe
Mm-hmm.
come up with a new type of Avengers or something.
Right.
Although I'm sure there's something in the comics that I don't know about that they're planning for already.
They're gonna bleed this motherfucker dry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of new trailers that I've seen.
Black Panther obviously could be a big part of whatever they do going forward, especially
Mhm.
after it's. Oh, we haven't talked about since. Let me look up what the actual. It broke a huge record where I think it was like the biggest superhero gross of all time.
Oh, really?
Let me see where it stands now because it's still in theaters.
Yeah. I can't see that. I don't know. Do you think the Civil War will beat out
Infinity War.
Mm-hmm. Infinite.
I don't know. I feel like there was so much around Black Panther. It was marketed very well.
Mm-hmm.
And it just being like a hot topic for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And so well reviewed. There we go, 37 minutes ago. So that's pretty updated.
Mhm.
Black Panther has beaten Titanic to become the 3rd highest grossing U.S. theatrical release of all time.
Oh, wow.
Having grossed around $661 million in its incredible box office run, has narrowly edged the ship-sinking epic out. Let me see what it says about superheroes. No, never mind. This is a short article. It's poorly written. Thanks, Gizmodo.
I feel like we should start writing fucking like news-centered. That'd be so much work.
More work to our schedule.
Let me just put ideas out there. I mean,
Wikipedia should have it.
I've always like, if we ever grew this podcast enough, I'd love to have other people come on to our website and publish like written actual reviews. That'd be cool.
If you want to write for How Many Fingers, let us
Yeah,
know.
really. If you guys feel, or like an essay or something, if you have a hot take on a movie,
Where's the box
send it to
office
us.
on
I'd
Wikipedia?
look over it, and if I liked it, I would put it on the website.
Marketing.
But yeah.
The
superheroes-
There we go. It is the highest grossing solo superhero film, the third highest grossing film of the MCU, after Avengers and Age of Ultron, and the 10th highest of all time. I feel like that's an old stat, though. Let me see if they have highest grossing film.
I'm sure it'll pass all that.
Sort by worldwide. Iron Man. I have to see where they have the. No, they might be right because they have the worldwide at 1 billion, 1.2 billion. I feel like they just didn't up. Wait, let's see. Avengers did 1.4 billion. I mean, I could break that, and first Avengers did 1.5 billion. Yes, I don't know. Maybe Infinity War. I didn't realize that Age of Ultron did that well. I was thinking that the first Avengers was a smash hit, but I thought I remembered Age of Ultron not doing that well, but apparently it did. So maybe Infinity War, because again, the two that have beaten it have been the two Avengers ones.
I think Age of Ultron was just like a lame. I mean, it's not. I think it's the front runner for like the worst. Like,
I actually like it better than the first Avengers.
Really?
I couldn't finish the first Avengers. I know that's blasphemy. And it was also back before I had, like, not that I've bought in now, but I hadn't been beaten into submission with, like, superhero whatever. So, like, that's what it was really for me. Like, come on. There's too many characters. It was also the first one, and half of them hadn't had their solo films yet. So by now, like, we know the characters. So, like, in Age of Ultron, they don't really have to do a backstory for a lot of them, besides, any new characters they bring in.
That's true. I was just opening my letterbox to see if I watched anything new from this year. Oh, I watched Game Over, Man.
Oh, on Netflix?
That, like, Workaholics, Netflix one. I thought that was pretty funny. I think maybe I just like those guys.
Is it like Workaholics humor?
Yeah, but I mean, again, it was in like a Die Hard setting, but it was like really funny just because like there were two like they had a bunch of like side stories where there was like two like jacked like really like tough like scar covered like henchmen kind of guys, and they're like they were just I don't know. They were just like tough or whatever, and they're taking over this hotel or whatever, and they go in there and like these three, like the three guys are like hiding or whatever, and these two guys come in, they're like looking for them, and they just like brutally killed a bunch of people, or like these rough and tough guys, and they're kind of like really like rugged edge guys, and then they go into the hotel room and they're like, "You're so gay. No, you're so gay," and then they start kissing, and he's like. And the one guy's like, "Do we have time?" And he's like, "Shh," and they start like having sex on the bed. And it's just like these funny kind of like warping of like stereotypes and everything. And it's kind of, there's some commentary. There's not really too much. Like the person, like they're attempting to rob like this, I forget like that guy on Instagram, like Dan Blazarian or Blazarian.
Oh, yeah.
There's kind of like a guy who's that kind of character, and he's kind of like this.
Oh, it's not actually him.
No. But it's like he's famous for like the three guys like admire him just because like he's like takes pictures with guns and hot babes like on Instagram, and he's like Instagram famous or whatever. But his dad's like has like a hedge fund or something. I don't know. It's pretty funny. It's not great, but it's pretty funny. It's a comedy worth seeing. I also watched. Netflix just coming through. There was something happy.
They put out like 100 films a day. One of them's got to stick.
Yeah. There was a film called Happy Anniversary, I didn't know much about it. I was just like watching it one day, but it was Ben Schwartz and I forget the girl who's in. She was on like SNL for like a hot second, and then she was on Master of None. Is her name Noelle something?
The Aziz's love interest in the first season?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know her name, but I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah.
She's on SNL?
I think so. Or maybe I'm mixing her up with someone else, but it was kind of a shitty movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's all. It just looked like a cute romantic comedy, and I'm usually into that, but it wasn't great.
I don't think I've seen anything that we're not reviewing. Oh, I did start Wild Wild Country on Netflix.
How's that?
That's really good. But unfortunately, me and Rowan at the same time, I've been meaning to rewatch Lost just because I have such fond memories of it. And I know it gets crappy towards the end,
Right?
But I do love the final season, and the first like 3 seasons are really good, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I just want to watch something sort of dumb but fun again. And she didn't want to watch it with me because she had already had the ending spoiled for her.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to put on the pilot.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was like, all right, I want to watch it now. She got like hooked.
Mm-hmm.
So we got hooked on that in the middle of watching Wild Wild Country. So we haven't gone back to that in a while. Just because Lost was so good at just like ending each episode with like, and what's going to happen next week? Because it was just like mystery after mystery after mystery. And it is a little cheesy, but it was great television. I think it was just super entertaining. But Wild Wild Country, we've watched the first 3 episodes. It's really creepy. It's about the Bhagwan Rajneesh Sannyasin. They have like different names.
Yeah.
The guy they follow is Bhagwan. They start like the Rajneeshi cult.
Yeah.
But they also call themselves sannyasins.
Right.
I don't know what that comes from. But they're basically this cult that was formed in India following this guy Bhagwan, and they were kind of like an anti-cult cult.
Mm-hmm.
Like an anti-religious cult, almost like it is a religion, but they reject a lot of ideals of religion, and they also reject like the cult view that's like anti-capitalist because they were very capitalist and they like sold merchandise and turned themselves into like $1 billion industry, just selling like stuff that had to do with the cult or just selling actual products to make money to support the cult. And they basically wanted to form a commune, and they bought this like 10,000 acre property in Oregon, and it was right next to this town of Antelope, and the people in Antelope didn't like that very much, and because they were just voicing their dissent so much, they basically legally took over the town of Antelope by like just buying. It was like a small retirement home that like old people, were there, but they always had their houses up for sale, so they just used their money and like gave them really great offers and bought most of the homes in the town, so they had a political majority. Elected their own officials, like changed the name of the town to like Rajneeshi, like changed all the street names. And then like it gets even crazier where like they want to take over Wasco County because the county is saying stuff against them too. And there's like this whole like the attorney general is like investigating them, and they're just scared. So they start shipping in like homeless people by the busload to their commune and being like, we'll give you food, shelter, and 2 free beers a night. And you can work for like whatever else. All you have to do is just like vote in the upcoming Wasco County election.
Oh, that's funny.
And it just, that's sort of where we left off, where they were setting up for that. There's like a roadblock that gets in the way. But it's just crazy. Like there's a lot of crazy stuff that apparently was a big news item in like the late 80s, early 90s that I didn't know about. But like the people of Antelope, they're like kind of like, just kind of like country folk. So they, they're comfortable with weapons and stuff. And they sort of start like making threatening remarks to the Rajneeshi, and their response is like, well, we have to protect ourselves, because I think at one point someone bombs a hotel that they have, and they're like, all right, there's actual violence going on, so they use like this like multi-million-dollar like fund that they have to just purchase like buckets and buckets of like automatic weapons, and they just have all the cult people like on the commune like training, and it's fucking creepy, like because they also, their thing is that they all wear like the same colors. Like it started out as like orange, and then I think it shifted to like red, purple, and pink, and like just warm hues like that. So you just have like all these people walking around with like Uzis, submachine guns, or like ARs, just like shooting target practice. It's creepy, like to see an organized cult like that, who's like, they're not anti-violence because they're sort of like an anti-cult cult. So they were very easily just able to be like, all right, well, we have to defend ourselves. So now we're a fucking army.
Right. Yeah.
With the funds to like buy all these crazy weapons and start training everyone.
Wow.
But yeah, it's produced by the Duplass brothers. I forget who directs it. It's a duo, I think, that directs it. But really cool. It's a little slow at first, but when it really gets into it, if you're not watching Lost, you'll be hooked. And that's on Netflix too, so I would recommend it.
That sounds good. I'm into it.
Yeah, I think you would like it. What else
I
we
can't
got?
think of much else. Again, if you've seen Ready Player One or Isle of Dogs or just came out A Quiet Place, go ahead and join our. I mean, if you're listening to this live or you're listening to this before, 5 p.m., 7 p.m., 9 p.m. when we record these episodes on this Saturday. And I mean, again, we'll have our next however many films that we're reviewing that I'll put up there. And you want to have your voice heard on the podcast via my voice or Mike's voice. Please share your opinions with us because we'd love to debate your opinions on our podcast. Like I want to go even beyond our guest, with voices that we can have on the podcast. Speaking of, we have
Ready Player One
mhm.
this Thursday, A Quiet Place next Thursday,
Mhm.
and then Isle of Dogs the Thursday after that.
Cool.
So stay tuned for those. And
We have 2 returning guests and 1 new guest. So,
so make sure you request to join the Facebook group. How many fingers am I holding up the Facebook group? You can just search that, or we share it on the page periodically from time to time. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Next goal, 101 subscribers. Just one more. We're setting the bar low. Pretty much everything else you can find at howmanyfingerspodcast.com. So we're going to get set up for our first episode.
yeah.
And we'll see you guys in 3 weeks on the next edition of How Many Fingers Am I Holding Up? Live on Facebook. Bye.
Bye.